Marra here with a quick update. I know it's been a while since I've come on YouTube here and discussed what's been going on in the world, but quite frankly, me personally, not a lot has been going on. I haven't been getting a lot as far as information, and it's almost like uh, it's kind of like riding a bicycle, and you're pedaling, pedaling, pedaling up a hill, and you reach the summit, and then all of a sudden you can coast for a while and you're coming down the other side. And that's what it feels like to me for the past several weeks, several months, even. Maybe not several months, but at least several weeks. And I really can't see what's up ahead. I don't think anybody can because we're creating this thing as we go. And you hear a lot of other people channeling messages and giving their testimonies of what they're going through right now. And a lot of people were claiming that they're experiencing all kinds of things. And I guess what's important to remember is each individual person's journey is their own, and therefore their truth is their own. So the only reason I'm coming on now at this time, it's not like I have any really important updates to discuss or to prepare humanity for or anything like that. It's just that I think it's important to discuss personal journeys so that those who can resonate with those of us who are kind of coasting right now, and you're looking around thinking, how come I'm not experiencing what everybody else is, or at least the majority of people? Some of us may have woken up early enough where we've already done the inner work, and now we're just becoming the observer. And it's quite interesting. I know that my journey was up and down, and there was a lot of hardship, if you want to look at it that way, breaking through the ego and allowing more energy or light to come in. I think right now, humanity, more and more people are waking up, and it has to come to a kind of majority of humanity has to wake up to a certain point in order to make some major changes. And we are a collective. Humanity in and of itself is a collective. We're in this together. And some of us are aware of things that others aren't. It doesn't mean that anybody's better than anybody else. It's just their point in the journey. So it's interesting to see, really, to be the observer at this point. And I may have been a little out of balance a few weeks back just because I was so involved in the spiritual aspect that I was losing sight of my physical part and my responsibilities with humanity and what I've come here to do with changing medicine and helping people in that regard. So I actually went back to work, and it really grounded me. And so I guess the key point here is balance and not being too far in the airy-fairy spiritual world, as some people call it, and maybe not so much being in too much groundedness and in the world, but to kind of balance this whole thing out. And that's part of the mastery, being in balance, mind, body, spirit, emotional, energetic, all of that. And so I don't think if you're on this planet and you're here to experience this thing called ascension, if that's what you want to call it, being born and raised into a human family and being influenced by the culture that you're in, by the media, by your education, a lot of that stuff has to go by the wayside, and you have to kind of work your way out of it. And a lot of things are coming to surface right now. Things that you thought you dealt with before, and you're like, why is this in my face again? And as above, so below. Things work in a spiral. And as we're spiraling upward like this, we're reaching similar spots. So if you're at this point and you're going around, when you reach that point again, bam, but you're up at a higher octave. As you're going up, you're reaching these places and spaces, and it seems like some of the lessons you've already learned or you thought you learned are back in your face, but it's really just to show you a reflection of where you are on your spiritual path. So don't get too frustrated over it. Just know that it's just part of the journey, and see it as a blessing in disguise, because if you look back in hindsight, you have a reference point of where you are today. So everything is happening in the moment of now, but with our perspective and our perception here on this planet at this time, it shows us our growth. And that's why I think it's important to have a timeline. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing. It just is. And with the reference points that we can look back at where we were even a year ago to where we are today, now we can have some type of I hate to use the word judgment, but you can judge for yourself where you are on your path and what you need to work on. For instance, if somebody comes up to you and they're in your face, maybe a year ago, you would have been right, you would have got sucked into that drama, and it would have been a back and forth type of a thing. Whereas now, you don't let it bother you, but you still stand in your power. You don't let people walk over you, but you just see it for what it is, and you maybe smile at them and kind of kill them with kindness and walk away. And know that you're not going to allow your ego to get sucked into this thing and allow them to get the best of me or whatever your thought may have been in the past. So we're definitely transitioning. There's a lot going on in the world, but sometimes you can step out of the situation, out of the whole world thing, even the drama. You can see it. The more you focus your attention on that particular genre, that's what you're going to draw to yourself. And that's part of this mastery, being in balance, becoming the observer, seeing things, knowing that this is an illusionary process, not allowing the emotions to get out of control or out of balance. So I really think that, let me just change this thing here real quick. I'm going to have a restart while I'm doing this video if I don't postpone this, so sorry about that. Okay, it's important to stay in balance. I guess that's what today's message is, as a reminder. And most people know that. They just maybe forget. I forget. I get sucked into some of these things. And again, I might not react the way I used to, but when you see yourself getting drawn into gossip or judgment, when somebody else is judging another person, and you can see certain aspects of what the person is judging them for, and you get sucked into the conversation, when you're putting your opinion out there and you're getting with the crowd, you know what? You're putting it out and you're drawing it back to yourself. So sometimes it's better just to either walk away from the situation, or you could add your 2 cents and maybe have them look at it from a different perspective. And it all depends on your journey, basically. We're into about 8 minutes, and of course I have like 15. I just wanted to mention about The Man of Steel, which I watched last night. It was very interesting. Born and raised a Roman Catholic, it reminded me of the Jesus story. This being, humanoid being, coming from another place and space and time, if you will, comes to this planet, is raised on Earth, can do supernatural things that the typical human beings can't do. And it just paralleled that story a lot. And those who are in the religious genre may see this and be like, oh, but that's saying that he's an alien. That says this and that. I mean, with our current technology today, with surrogate mothers and in vitro fertilization, all the things that we have, if you would just imagine another civilization out there that were 100 or 1,000 years of technology and advancement than what we are. I mean, there's so much that could be going on that we just don't know. And I think that's the case. I also think that as multi-dimensional beings, we shift from our our vantage point. I mean, at one time we thought we were alone in the universe. We were just these physical beings. Then you shift into, hey, I have a galactic family out there, and I am a Pleiadian or I'm a Sirian. And then you get to another awareness as you accept these things gradually, just like the universe works gradually, you get a new awareness where, oh my gosh, I'm a multi-dimensional being. I've been to this place or that place. I've been a Pleiadian. I've been a Syrian warrior. I've been multiple things in multiple dimensions and realities and energies. Then you get to this next step, if you want to call it that, of being a universal being. And that just means that you could be anything, anywhere, anytime, depending on where you focus your attention and your consciousness. And so I believe that we're not only multidimensional, we're universal beings. And since we are all connected through energy, right now we are connected into the humanity consciousness. And that's where we focus this particular portion of our consciousness right now. So we're aware of what's going on right now. But this is just a little spark of what we truly are. And for the purpose of the experience. And this is pretty difficult to get behind because that means that there's an energetic stream to a higher self or a higher being or a multiple self that's having many experiences at one time, but your awareness or your consciousness is right here, right now. So I think we're bringing all these aspects and these awarenesses to ourselves over time, what we perceive as time, as we're helping one another, we're helping the planet, we're helping the universe. We're a universal being of love and light. And the best way to go through this is through the heart and through love and light. And, you know, these are just reminders of things you probably already know. But I know people like updates. I know I do. And I've gotten a few emails where people, you know, were like, hey, where you at? Where you been? What's going on? You know, you've been given this information. Where do you see things now? And basically, we're in our perfection. Everything's going according to the divine plan, if you want to call it that. And we're all participating in our rules. We're all going to wake up to various awarenesses, as I just talked about, when it's the correct time. And so, you know, I'm running out of time here, but just, you know, hang in there. Don't look at everybody else's thing. Look at your own thing. If you want to look outside yourself, just become the observer. Go into your heart and meditate, meditate, meditate. And all the things I've talked about in the other videos, it's all out there. Go back to review and refresh. And sometimes I have to do that because if I'm out of balance, I don't see things the way I had in the past maybe. Right now, things are all new. And all the things that I used to hold as the truth, quite frankly, it's not like I'm confused, but the clarity that I used to have in that moment is not quite there right now because everything's just being created as we go. So it's really interesting to stand back, become the observer, and just allow things to be. Just be. Be in balance and just look around. And man, what a place. If you allow yourself to step out of it, if you're content, you're not in a rush to get anywhere, you're just doing whatever you should be doing in the present moment. You're not forced to be anywhere that you don't want to be. And when you're in balance, you don't allow that emotion to get out of control of what's going on outside of your own personal space. And we're running out of time here, so hopefully I'll give you another update here. Hopefully this rings true to people. But in the near future, maybe I'll give another one. I haven't been inspired, like I said, just because I didn't have any information to give you. So I thought I'd just come on to give you something. So send you guys love, light, and laughter, and enjoy the ride.